Sorry guys, give me 1 second here. I'm trying to work on the lighting just a little bit. Can't seem to find it. Well, that don't work either. Tech illiterate, I tell you. Can y'all let me know if you can see me and hear me, please? There's a little bit of a delay, so I have to wait on that. I apologize. The lighting always makes my nose look really red, folks. My nose does get a little red when it gets really hot, but not that red. Thank y'all for the 5x5s. What's up, everybody? Michigan Outpost is in the house. Tina, Domestic Gangster, how you doing, ma'am? First Waffen, hopefully you're doing okay. Liz is in the house. Seamus, I think I'm saying that right. Seamus, I was lurking in the chat a while ago. That was a perfect quote about the free cheese and the mouse traps. Never heard that before, but sums it up. Independent Marine, brother, how you doing? Raptor Ranch. Jennifer Cruz, I see you. Wow, there's not much of a delay tonight. What's up, Frank? Honey Badger, how you doing, ma'am? So, here we go. For you new folks, Shotgun Saturday Night is our weekly live stream. We live stream once a week, and this is it. And it is just to sit down and chat. This is like we were having coffee. Look here. I even got a coffee mug out tonight to match my shirt. Know what I'm saying? Because I'm a forward-thinking individual. But just to let y'all know, the subjects that we're going to cover tonight, they come from Patreon. And once we get through those, it's open forum on anything you folks want to talk about. I, of course, will ramble, I'm sure. And there's no need to super chat. This is not one of those channels. As long as I see it in the chat, you may have to put it in all caps. We'll cover it, okay? No need to super chat. But again, thank you, Stuck in the City Prepper, for that super chat a few minutes ago. Let's see here. That's a good chain. Well, it's just a survival rope. I'll go over it in the morning or something. You know, it wasn't that forward thinking. Yeah, forward thinking. It wasn't that expensive. It was like 15 bucks and does a great job. Is it bug out time? Not yet, Gator Red. Not yet. We're getting there, I think, unfortunately. The prepping preacher. No, I usually buy it already ground up. I've been in situations where I've had to use a hammer. I'm not kidding. When the grid was down, and I've had to do it that way, old school. But, so anyway, let's get this show rolling, okay? So, first and foremost, I wanted to mention, I wrote it down, I wanted to mention they have stripped Gretchen the Grinch, Queen Gretchen up in Michigan. They have stripped her of her emergency powers. Did y'all see that? They accused her of abusing her, I guess, her authority during the 2020 lockdowns. And that brings a smile to my face. That's like the Ben and Jerry's. I love it. Yeah. Nana's laughing. It is great. Marla, it's great. Somebody finally put that lady in check, man. She was like a warlord. He's saying, I see that. It got flagged, but I saw it anyway. And I got to agree. Yes, Michigan. Even Michigan is tired of Gretchen. So I would say if she had any ambitions to run for president one day, those are probably shot at this point. True American Loretta, how you doing, ma'am? I'm also, when I cover something in the chat, I'm going to try and read it off this week. I got a bad habit of I'll see something in the chat and I won't read it off. And people email, they'll say, hey, you know, son, can you do this? Can you read it off? What's up, Papa Prepper? I was lurking in your chat for about 10 minutes. And, brother, my wife flagged me down, and I had to go do some moving some stuff in the backyard. So I didn't get to watch the entire chat, but I will go back and watch it. J-Jack, if it's recent, no. I haven't checked anything like that since earlier today. But with Cooper, there ain't no telling. Gator Red, I hope so. I know who you're talking about there with Magoo. I guess that's a wait and see, you know. You don't want to go too far down the conspiracy hole, but at the same time, you know, that may be something valid there. Truthful troll, no, I was not trolling Papa Prepper. I was lurking. Kim's Farm Life. Thank you for being here tonight, man. Appreciate that. So everybody's hugging everybody, apparently. Okay, so I just wanted to start out with Gretchen the Grinch. That was awesome. France. They're continuing the protest in France. I think they call them the Yellow Jackets or the Yellow Vests or something like that have now joined in. How can I say this? The tracking passes, they don't want them. These people are taken to the streets now by the hundreds of thousands in France. They are still fighting that issue. We were talking about that last week. Andrea said good. It is good, Andrea. I wish more people here in the United States would do it over, you know, on the conservative right. But I guess we're too busy working, right? Somebody's got to pay the taxes here in the United States. I would argue it's not many on the left unless they're tied up in education somewhere. Hey, Renee, how are you doing? Hopefully better. Having a rough day? I'm sorry to hear it. I just read the second part of your comment. I'm super sorry. Unless you're a Gretchen Whitmer fan, and then I'm not sorry you're having a rough day. But other than that, just got new tires, Maria. There you go. They're going to be disappearing quick from what I understand. North Idaho. Well, keep it that way, Bob. Keep it that way. He said North Idaho remains free and strong. Not too many states here in the United States can say that right now. It just feels like we're living in a socialist country or something. Gretchen the Witch. Andrea said Gretchen the Witch. I almost used the thumbnail art of a house on top of that witch's shoes off of a Wizard of Oz. But I'm like, nah, you know, I don't want to get flagged for that. Go long today, Kelly Rudolph says. Well, you know, I've been known to go long, so they say. Honeybee, how are you doing? Prepper Trucking, glad to see you too, brother. So let me see here. What do we got going on? Flash floods potentially, they're saying, in the southwest of the country. So if you folks are in one of those states, New Mexico, in and around, they're talking about the potential of huge flash flooding taking place. So y'all please have what you're going to need to have in case there is flash flooding going on, because there'll be panic at that point. You know what I mean? People will panic. You know how it is with any weather event. I swear here, this ridiculous 1 inch of snow, it's packed out in the grocery store. So, you know, just, there goes somebody super chatting. Patriot Allen, thank you for everything you do. We're encouraged by your example. My best to you and the family. Well, I appreciate that, Patriot Allen. But again, no need to super chat it. You can just put it in all caps, brother. And I'll eventually get to it. Sometimes the mods, if I miss it 2 or 3 times, they'll slap me in the face and say, look, son, they've been asking this question. They've been saying this and you missed it. And that happens quite a bit. But yeah, monsoon and stuff. S. Davidson said monsoon flow. Sometimes it drifts over to Texas. So just be prepared for that. That's something that we know ahead of time we can prepare for. Most of you probably are prepared for it. Jennifer Cruz says she went to Taco Bell today and couldn't get sweet tea due to a shortage. The South would probably lose its mind. If we lost our sweet tea, my wife would be prepping harder than me at that point, because that's her coffee, you know. Terrible, no sweet tea. That's what I'm saying, Maria. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Taco Bell. It makes me go to the boys' room, or as my wife does, the potty. I think that's how you do it anyway. But yeah, I love sweet tea. I really do when I'm not drinking coffee. We love our sweet tea, says Honey Badger. That's right. That's right. Tim Osman Gaming asks, if America was invaded, which country do I think it would be? Tim, I can only offer my opinion. I think that we are in a soft invasion right now from an Asian country that I should probably not mention here on the live stream. I think they are taking us over through bureaucrats at this point, buying up a lot of. They're trying to do it without boots on the ground. But in my opinion, if there was a boots on the ground, it would be that said country. Hopefully, you folks know who I'm talking about. Some of you in the chat seem to know. Yeah, y'all definitely know what I'm talking about. Uh-oh. So now that we have got the highs of Gretchen being stripped of her emergency powers, much like a roller coaster, son, let me take y'all on a low for a second. It was reported today that Kamala Harris and her team, and I know y'all have nicknames for Kamala Harris. Feel free to post them. I'm not going to say them here. I'm trying to be objective. But Kamala Harris is exploring the possibility of running for U.S. president once Biden is done. I don't know when this would be, whether it's, 2.5 years from now or whatever, but she won't. Kelly, come on now. I knew that was going to be the first one, but she is exploring the serious possibility of it. Truthful Troll, thank you for the super chat that you don't need to do. I'm concerned about lockdown 2.0 in the near future. You're going to, I think, see a lockdown 2.0. Most states. There may be 3 or 4 that hold out. But you shouldn't be too concerned. You should be prepped for it, okay? Or prepping for it. So just continue to prep. And I'm missing some Kamala stuff here. Gavin Baker says, cackling Kamala has no chance. Well, Kamala Harris, here's the part I find odd. When she was running in 2020 in the primaries over on the left, she was at one time polling, I think her highest was 7.4%. So less than 8% of Democrats actually were going to vote for her as president of the United States. So I'm not really sure what she has done to improve her polling numbers since she's been squatting at VP. Eric King says, good evening. Good evening, sir. Shaman says a knee pad shortage in the household. And I'm hoping he's not talking about his household or her household, but perhaps Harris's household. We'll see. Homestead Homeboy, North Carolina. Here's a super chat that I didn't need to do. Y'all really don't need to, I promise. Good to see you, neighbor. You too, holding it down in Cooper country. Man, North Carolina is starting to look like a lot of other states where it is purple. And I don't like where it's going. I don't like where it's trending, to be honest. Where I'm at in North Carolina, extremely red. But the bigger cities, as many of you know in the other states, they are starting to flip the states. Slowly but surely, it's like a disease in more ways than one. Nick Robinson says he'll be in Tennessee for a family reunion soon. I love Tennessee, brother. I've not been to all of it. I've been to Nashville. Memphis I didn't really care for, but I think it was the part of Memphis that we were in. It wasn't heavily policed. That would be the best way to put it. And the Smoky Mountains are awesome as well. Tiny Titan says Oregon flips every election. If they have any sense, Tiny Titan, they will flip red and stay red because the blue has failed them. Jason Smith, I agree. There's some chicanery going on, but that's just opinion. You know what I mean? Seamus, the beautiful Smokies, they really are. We honeymooned there, Miss Nation and I, and we've went there every year since then. And it's gotten to the point now the traffic is so bad, though. That's the one thing. I hate traffic so much. I really do. And it starts to get under my skin now when we go. But it's once you get there, it's beautiful. It's expensive too. Just throwing it out there. So are there any folks in here in Virginia? I saw an article, maybe it was on Fox, and then I had somebody email me a separate piece of intel from Virginia. So I wanted to talk about them for a second. James, the Southern Prepper, Camel Toe Harris. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Of course I know who you're talking about. So there are a couple of people from Virginia. Okay, I got you. So they're saying now, because of the governor's race, McAuliffe over on the left, I only remember his name because he was so bad. I actually don't know the candidate on the right. I can't remember his name right off. They're saying that governor's race is going to determine if CRT makes its way into schools across the United States. They're saying that's the first battleground because these are the platforms. They're running on CRT, basically. McAuliffe wants it hardcore. The conservative that is running against him, and I hope he wins, does not want it. 1,000%. And so it's like a national... Youngkin, thank you very much, Independent Marine. Glenn Youngkin, I think, does not want CRT whatsoever. And so they are saying that, I can't really say what CRT is here, Oklahoma. If you can ask folks in the chat, they can probably tell you, though. But they're saying that's the one to watch. If McAuliffe wins the state house up in Virginia, it's pretty much a done deal nationwide. There'll be a few states that say no, but other than that, they're going to incorporate it. And if Youngkin wins, that's pretty much, they're going to shut it down at that point. The other thing, the intel that I had somebody sent was from Roanoke, Virginia. Roanoke is a smaller city, but they're starting to, I guess, become a bigger city, or at least have big city problems. They are having a boomstick buyback program, and I think it's happening next month or something. They have a liberal mayor, of course, liberal across the board now. So that leads to violence in the city because it's not well policed, in my opinion. But they're going to blame the boomsticks. Obviously, that's what the left does. And so now they're trying to buy them back, which in the first place is ridiculous because the people did not buy them from the city of Roanoke. Right? They bought them all over the place. But they're not paying money. And you folks can Google this. I don't have the intel right in front of me. I read it very early this morning. I was half asleep, son. But they are offering instead for the hand-style boomsticks, the small ones, they're offering $250 in grocery gift cards. And for the longer style, hopefully you folks know what I'm talking about, they're offering $150 in gift cards. And this person was telling me that that's such a low figure, which it is. You would have to be an idiot to even consider that deal. That people in Roanoke City now, pro-Second Amendment folks, are going around offering to outbid the city. They're like, no, don't sell it to them for $250. I'll give you $400 cash for it. So it's like a huge mess going on up in Roanoke right now. But if you're in Virginia, avoid that place, apparently. I'll offer that, of course. Who wouldn't? I can't think, I don't know, brand new at least, if I've ever seen a hand-style boomstick for $250 that, I mean, maybe a 22, certain model, low-end model 22s, but most of the 22s that are a decent brand cost more than that. And that's money, not a grocery gift card. And who needs groceries? Joe is sending money out like mad crazy. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Brian Simon said, oh, wow, 200 bucks for something I paid over 500 for. Yeah, and they're not going to give you 200 cash. They're going to give you like Kroger gift cards, man. I mean, and my wife, I was telling her about this morning. She don't want to hear it. She's out there drinking her sweet tea. She's like, do you think people will do it? And I said, sadly, yeah, I do. And here's the crowd that I think is going to do it, folks. I think if there are any leftists in Roanoke, which there obviously there has to be, if they have a mayor that's a lefty, if they rushed out last year during the lockdown pandemic and they bought boomsticks, but maybe they've never used one in their entire life. You know, there was like this mad rush of people going out, untrained people, scooping them up, and they've been sitting in a box ever since. They might trade them, you know, in for grocery cards, but that's just ridiculous. Almost makes me want to go up there and start bidding, man. You know, the rest of us will be keeping ours. 83 says. I guess I'm saying that right. Yeah, I'm keeping mine. That's crazy. But I mean, I couldn't believe it. You know, I got that intel and I clicked it, and it was, man, what was it? A CBS affiliate station. It was like a legit station. I had to check the intel out because I couldn't even believe it. Mama says 250 does not buy many groceries even in Texas. It ain't buying much anymore at all. The travel nurse prepper, that's a very good point. She said the pawn shop will give you more for it than that. Yeah, if it's a decent name boomstick, they will. I would at least try that. I mean, they're going to give you cash or something, you know. The cheapest one that I almost bid on was, it was a 22, but I like 22s, folks. I'll tell you straight up, but I got to have the bigger hand models because I have huge hands. So it was, I think it was a 1911 model. And I don't even remember the brand name. I saw it at Rule King online. I'm like, uh-oh. But I tried to chase it around. They were out of stock everywhere, so I just gave up. And it was, I think it was $249 back in the day. Independent Marine says it's a liberal city. I guess he means Roanoke, shunned by the rest of Southwest Virginia, which is Second Amendment sanctuaries. I was going to say Independent Marine. I'm up that way from time to time, and I'm very familiar. I don't know if you are with Giles County. Love that place. Man, it's Trump country up there. It must be night and day compared to Roanoke. I don't think Roanoke is too much further north, right? Here in New York, the dry goods are getting very difficult to find, Liz said. We're going to get into that very shortly, and you're absolutely right. So the last thing I wanted to cover, there's actually two things. One is there is a trend now where people are stealing Cadillac converters off of vehicles. So keep your eye on your vehicle. Apparently, Cadillac converters are extremely hard to find right now, and they're pulling a premium on the black market. I saw that right before I went live, and I just wanted to pass that along because they can be costly to replace if you can even find them right now. That is, yeah, I know Jennifer Cruz said, what? Cadillac converters. Yeah, who knew? It used to be wheels and stereos and stuff, Pioneer stereos back in the day, back when I was a young buck, but now it's Cadillac converters here in Joe's America. The other, I know, 63KC says Cadillac. I say Cadillac. I'm saying it wrong, I'm sure of it. Yeah, I know I'm saying it wrong, guys. I promise I do. The other thing is Illinois, or Illinois, however you want to say it. I call it Illinois. Not to be disrespectful to folks that are from there. That's just how I say it here. Poco Loco says you're saying it wrong. I promise you I am, you know? Anyway, statewide, they're having a huge problem finding teachers for the upcoming school year. And they did a like a statewide poll, and 1 in 4 teachers outright told them, you know, if we go to online learning only at any point during this school year, I quit. I'm going to be done. And they've actually had to outsource. Um, let me see here. I'll get to that in a second, truthful. They've actually had to outsource in a couple of the counties now. They've hired online only teachers from other countries to teach their kids this upcoming fall, K through 12, because there are not enough teachers. So I don't know if that's going to be a nationwide problem or if it's just there. But Truthful Troll says, Prepper Nation, John, when are you going to be a guest on Marauder Monday over at Magic Preppers? Matt, the Magic Prepper, he's awesome. The last time I was over there was the election coverage night. And I can remember them telling me to calm down. But hopefully sometime soon to answer your question. But when we were doing the election coverage, and it took hours for Texas to finally go red, I remember telling them at this point, it ain't going to be good for Trump. And they were like, shut up with that noise. We don't want to hear it. It's still early. I said, look, if it takes Texas this long, Trump's in trouble. Jennifer Grubb, I would, but the curriculum that they would give me to teach, I wouldn't want to do it, to be honest. They teach one side of the story. Travel Nurse Prepper says just homeschool. I agree, and that's actually, I think it's a better option. But some people, they can't afford to. You know, they got mortgages and jobs and things. So they just can't afford to do it, okay? Quickly, we're going to run down our social media. For those that are new, your first time here is Shotgun. We have social media accounts all over the place. And I go in like a snitching fool on them during the week, see what they're talking about, and I report on them. I tattle on them here on Shotgun. And then we're going to get to some Patreon prepping questions, okay? So Telegram. They were talking about, and I actually knew nothing about this until I went to Telegram. That's why Telegram's great. They were talking about a flooded tunnel in China. Apparently, you folks hear about this? I'm checking the chat here. In China, they had like just a flood, and it came through and completely flooded out a busy tunnel, and they were stopping people from filming and taking pictures and everything. 6-shooter Homestead, how you doing, brother? Hopefully you eating some of that corn. He had a huge corn harvest. He texted me the pictures. I said, man, you're missing butter and salt. Arkansas Living is in the house. Everybody email him. It's his birthday, and he wants an email from everybody in here. How you doing, brother? Jim Van said it killed well over 6,000 people in the tunnel. I did not know that, actually. Wow. I do hate to hear that. They had posted it because the military was coming in and they were blocking everything off. But I did not realize it was that many people. I actually didn't know about it. The first place I saw it was on Telegram. So that is insane. Weekend RVing, how y'all doing? James and Millie. And folks, let me just say it before it goes any further. I'm so sorry. It's not Arkansas Living's birthday. We have this little thing going where he says it's my birthday and then my email blows up. And so I was just trying to get him back. But it's at least I don't think it's his birthday. If it's your birthday, buddy, happy birthday. But I don't think it is. I'm just messing with you, brother. And also on Telegram, Create and Kayla. Is Kayla in the chat? I saw y'all. They were having a fashion show between the two of them. They were posting pictures dressed up with cowgirl boots on and everything. And of course, being preppers, they're like, put some boot powder in the boots. You don't want to get trench foot or whatever it is. Uh-oh. I know. Anybody that's not on Telegram, get on there now and go back and look at those pictures. I caught them. They tried to slide him in. They thought I wasn't in there, but yeah. Yeah, I was eating oatmeal and I clicked on there. I'm like, what's going on here, son? Yeah, it was Seamus. It was a straight show. They were showing off clothes or something. And I tried to read over a little bit of the commentary. I think one of them, I think maybe Kayla, is actually a cowgirl or something like that. If she's not, please forgive me. Tina's like, way to snitch us out. Oh, yeah, I saw you. So, MeWe, is the MeWe crowd in the house? Got a little dirt to report on them. Purple's in. Yeah, Telegram is an app on the phone, and then they can drop you the link maybe in here. They actually had to help me set mine up. I couldn't figure it out. So, in MeWe, the first lesson that I learned this week is you do not show up at Steve Tatum's house, son, because he will go loco on you. Steve Tatum's not playing. He posts in there all the time, and he's like, let the zombies show up at my house. So I figured I'd mention that. And they've been posting memes over there all week of different things, the liberal lunacy, things of this nature. They posted one that was, Pamela, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. They posted one. My favorite was probably, it was a pop-up camper, but it was being pulled like a horse-drawn carriage. And they were making reference to conservatives holding the line, done lost their license, done lost all their freedoms. And they're still holding the line. They living in a pop-up camper, going to town. Barracks Special, thank you. When I always rewatch the chat to make sure I didn't miss any comments, and I usually miss a ton. When I go back through, I'll write that down. And is it here on YouTube? I'll check it out. And Facebook. And this is what I was talking about earlier. They've been posting all week photos across the United States of store shelves completely empty. Everything from Walmart and Costco to Dollar General, Dollar Tree. I mean, they're getting wiped out countrywide. And they're saying that it is the supply line and also the staffing. The staffing being, people to actually stock the shelves or warehouses to load the trucks. Everybody wants to blame truckers. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's the biggest issue. I think it's workforce and the supply line trying to catch up, and it can't catch up. American Trucker says no trucker shortage. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I've had several truckers email, and they're like, look here, there ain't no, quit saying there's a trucker shortage. There's no trucker shortage. And actually, one of the questions from Patreon, we're going to go over, it deals with that. Domestic Gangster. I'll be at a Rural King, Walmart, and CVS tomorrow. Are you going to be live streaming? Because I like to check that out. I like to see how you get all this stuff for free with coupons. Desert Patriot, shelves are fat here in Middle Tennessee. Take advantage. Darren Collins saying the same thing, no shortages. And that's pretty consistent with what I'm getting. Like the intel I get inboxed, some people are saying nothing's missing. The prices have went up maybe a little, but nothing's missing. And then other people, they'll email and they'll say, it looks like The Walking Dead here. I went in, somebody emailed yesterday morning. They had went into their local Dollar Tree. Their entire frozen food section was completely empty. There was nothing. And I know it's just a Dollar Tree or whatever, but I find that kind of odd. Muzzle Flash. Hey, John, I missed you. I missed you too, Muzzle. I was laying in bed last night thinking, where's Muzzle Flash? I'm kidding. I was watching something to do with Larry the Cable Guy last night. Some show my wife turned me on to, like something to do with America, where he goes across America. Carrie says, we definitely have gaps in Middle Tennessee. Kelly, Sam's Club has a limit on meat. We had a Sam's Club membership and we eventually gave it up. The main reason, I'm not gonna lie to you, I know this sounds ridiculous, and if my kids are listening, they're gonna kill me. But the main reason we kept it is when we went, my kids were infatuated with the free samples. They love these things. And then during 2020 with the pandemic, they quit doing it. And after that, my wife started finding everything on Amazon cheaper or as cheap. John Ricks, I can't find Prepper Nation on Telegram. If Nana is in here moderating, Nana can hook you up. She actually had to set mine up for me. Hatch BM, thanks for all you do. Best prep for calories for the dollar. Wow. It depends on what you like to eat. I'm tempted to say hardtack just because it lasts forever, but I'm going to say, and this is me personally, I'm going to say pancake mix. Pancake mix, at least the last time I bought it, the bags are like this. I mean, they're huge, 100 and some servings, and they were $7. It's not something you want to eat every single day, but I can't think of too many things, maybe ramen noodles, but they kind of get old. I can't think of too much more that's cheaper than that, that's going to, because you can do it various ways, you know. Peanut butter, sometimes I mix peanut butter in. You can use honey on this stuff, just all kinds of stuff. You can get maple syrup, stuff lasts forever practically, and you can use it on there. So for me, if I'm thinking about bang for the buck, I'm looking at canned food, and I'm looking at, again, the pancake mix, because it lasts just as long. I think it has a 2-year shelf life if you get it at your local discount store or whatever. Oxen Farms, I believe, lasts 20 or 25 years. So if you can afford it, check that out as well. But thank you for the super chat. You could have just bold texted it. I would have eventually saw it. But thank you for that. Thank you, Nana. There's the Telegram link. Let me pin that if I can catch it here. Feel like I'm playing that old game Snake or something. There we go. I guess it pinned. If it didn't, y'all forgive me. Augustin Farms in number 10 cans only, stuck in the city prepper. Colorado. Yeah, Colorado says rice and beans. I mean, you can't go wrong with rice and beans either. But the reason that I didn't say rice and beans is the preparation time. Like, you need a lot of water for that, which you're going to need for the pancakes as well, but it takes a while to cook them. You know, pancakes are pretty simple. But I mean, all of that stuff's good to prep, you know. Fun size. Sorry I'm so late. You're forgiven. You are forgiven. I was almost late. I was filling my coffee up earlier. Pamela Porter says she shopped at the Amish market today. 1/3 of the size of last week, the chicken breasts. Huh. Jonathan Hicks, does fishing count as prepping practice? Absolutely. If we hit another Great Depression, the ability to fish can mean life or death if you're a decent fisherman. They say during the last depression, you know, turkey and deer and things like that, they dried up pretty fast because everybody was trying to hunt them down. And I mean, there's just more fish to go around. You know what I mean? Chicken boobs ain't growing like they used to. Alrighty then. Barrack Special, 308 rounds are as good as silver coins. You're not kidding. That is probably the only round that I've not seen in a brick and mortar in close to a year. I'm starting to run into the other stuff. The 9, I actually seen some 38 the other day. I haven't seen that stuff forever. 10 and 12 gauge, stuff like that. 308, I haven't seen it. Someone was asking, y'all can help me out with this, please, if you don't mind. I got an email early this morning. Somebody was asking for the best place to buy online, the Freedom Seeds, that keeps it in stock on a regular basis. And I told them I've been buying it up here locally, so I haven't even checked online in a couple of months. But if you folks happen to know of a honey hole online, if you don't mind dropping it, that would be awesome. Ammo Seek. Thank you very much, Hatch. I hope not, Jennifer. I hope there's no buffering going on here. So there we go. Let's get into some questions. All right. So, and I wrote them down because I'm all sophisticated. High-tech redneck, right? Honey Badger over on Patreon wants to know about the blue helmets here in the United States, internet outages, and food shortages. Well, we covered the food shortages pretty much already. I mean, they're going to be hit or miss, and they're not going to get better anytime soon. If we lock down again, the food shortages are going to look apocalyptic in certain parts of the country. Other parts, it's still going to be there, and the price is going to be absolutely through the roof. Internet outages can happen at any point in time. Because, in my opinion, not only are we too dependent upon technology, but we're stupid about who we trust with the security of said technology, okay? So you're going to pin an entire country's future on technology, and then you're going to bring in a Russian firm to cyber hack it and expect good results. So internet outages can, again, at any point in time, for days, weeks, months, you never know. So it's something you want to be prepared for. Blue helmets here in the U.S., they are here. They've been here. We're one of like the core group. I forget what they're called in the UN, but it's a sham anyway, right? We're one of the core members, but there's not enough of them here to police this entire country. Not by a long shot. Even if they dumped every blue helmet they have into the United States, they don't want that smoke. I'm just saying, they don't want it. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would worry about the blue helmets maybe working in coordination with a Biden National Guard or something like that. Then that becomes a problem. Squat chicane, I think I'm saying that right. I have crushing debt and a negative net worth. Here's $5. I could really use this though. Probably a mistake to part with this. You don't have to super chat. Really, folks, thank you, but really, listen. I would rather use this money for prepping, okay? I'm being 100% honest here. When you super chat, part of that money is going to go to Google anyway, okay? And I'm not here for I'm dropping stuff. I'm not here for the super chats. I'm here because I like to hang out, at least once a week, right? So again, thank you for that, but please, please, please use this money to prep. Start with food. Night of the Living Prepper. All we have to do is pump the blue helmets with Viagra, and they will. Why did I jump on that comment? Why did I? SHTF engineering. Blue helmets don't have the heart to fight against folks defending their homeland. They really don't. I mean, they do not. Anybody that comes here to the United States is going to be dragged into a 100-year war that's guerrilla style that they really can't afford and they really don't want. They have no stomach for it. Hope Acres. What are your thoughts on military-aged males coming over the border? Do you think they're setting up a military invasion? It used to be just unaccompanied kids. Hope, I mean, I'm not an expert on that. There's so many people coming over that we have no idea what it's about. I mean, it could potentially be an invasion. It could be just to kind of flip-flop the demographic, for purposes of vote harvesting or voting. I mean, it could be so many different things. You have the cartel to worry about and, drugs being brought in and stuff. It's a mess, and nobody seems to want to fix it. Trump was trying, he got resistance at every single turn. You've had people, I think they did a GoFundMe or something in Texas, I believe. They were trying to pay for their own border wall. You know, these people have got to be sick of seeing it. And there's no end in sight. Jonathan Hicks. Exactly. He said, thank you for that. He said, the more preparation people take, the less I got to deal with. Exactly. You know, it doesn't matter if somebody's been prepping for a day or a week or a month. As long as you're awake and you're trying to prep, you're somebody we don't have to deal with when the balloon goes up. That's one less person. You know, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of others if you can afford to. But when I say that, I'm talking about try and wake them up. Try and get them into prepping, you know? You don't have to spend $500,000 prepping. Just have the stuff you're going to need for a few months. Start there. Barracks Special, that's a good point. 308 is a NATO caliber. Gulf Coast Prepper, I would agree with that. Gulf Coast says the cartels are a bigger threat right now than the UN. I think in the southernmost states here in America, they definitely are a bigger threat, yeah, because they're dealing with it now, you know. Okay, so Greg over on Patreon, and this I'm not sure what that means, Robert. If you can explain, I'll be glad to answer it. Greg over on Patreon, this deals with truck drivers. He said truck driver shortage is not the problem. He said there are millions of inactive drivers. He said what it is, in his opinion, is the school is very expensive and the contracts are crap. They lock you in for years at a time. And he said that it's crony capitalism that is killing the trucking industry. Is that you, American Trucker? Okay, man. Okay, there you go. Is that what's going on, man? Crony capitalism? There are a handful of truckers here at the nation, man. And they'll let me have it, too. Anytime I say there's a trucker shortage, they're like, no, there's not a trucker shortage. Hatch says drivers without experience can't haul fuel. Didn't know that, but that does make sense. Absolutely makes sense. Cronies kill everything, Andrea says. Kevin says everything American is under attack. I totally agree. Our way of life across the board is under attack. Backcountry Preps, what's up, brother? If y'all, look, I normally don't plug a lot of channels over here. Backcountry Preps is the man you want to follow on YouTube. He gives it to you unfiltered. He does not care. He was the one that woke me up to holding the line. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. I thought there was a point in time, even running this channel, that I thought we could do this peacefully. And he really woke me up. And I came to realize these people cannot be reasoned with. You cannot sit down and try and reason with people that want to set cities on fire. So if that is your thing, he is here on YouTube. Backcountry Preps. Squat. Squat. That name. Squat Chicane. Only kidding about the crushing debt. I enjoy the streams. Real question. Are you following what is happening in Lebanon? I am not. If you can let me know in the chat, I will look for it and I will dig into it after this. There's so much going on all over the place. Thank you, Nana. That I don't have a clue what's going on over there. There's so much going on, so many fires that we got to sit here and try and cover, you know. Hyperinflation, okay. You're talking about Lebanon? Robert, do you believe in a pre, mid, or post-tribulation rapture? I don't really know, Robert, where I stand on that. I think what we're seeing right now is biblical. But I think that we still have a long ways to go. Long ways. And I intend to fight it at every corner, son. Legally, let me just say that because I don't want to get flagged. Fight it at every corner legally. But to me, the Constitution is the law of the land. Not some illegal order that is signed in some state house somewhere by some flunky. Not there. I'm talking about the Constitution. To me, that's legal. Joseph wanted me to cover the C-19 and what's going on in the United Kingdom. The phone tracing apps. People are saying no to the phone tracing apps. And they are predicting in the UK that this Christmas season is going to be the perfect storm. They're outright admitting this in the UK and the media and stuff over there. There's shortages. The economy's in shambles. They're talking about strict lockdowns in many parts of the UK, and now tracing has led to civil unrest, and they don't know what to do. Wizard, I think that you're spot on about that. It's just something I can't cover here. But folks, Wizard, I think he is on to it. I think there's some of it going on anyway. Yeah, domestic gangster Sophia, she said, so those phone tracing apps, no thanks. But there are parts of the UK now where they're not allowed to move freely throughout the city without having that on their phone. And that's why they're taking to the streets and, just giving the police everything they can handle. The police are using water cannons on them and stuff like that. They're just not having it. Somebody, I think it was in France, though, they actually rolled out a guillotine. They had constructed like a fake guillotine and rolled it out into the middle of the street. They're trying to let the bureaucrats know we're not going to put up with it. And again, here we are in the United States, complaining about it on YouTube and doing not much else about it. The French are leading the way just like they were last week. Yeah, it's on slow, First Waff, and I'm so sorry. That was one of the first things I set up when I did the stream, because normally Mames and Nana, they'll kill me, and Dawn, if I don't set it up to slow. Flip phone and Davis, well, that's a good option, but I think over there they have some sort of a program where they gift you a smartphone. How nice of them. And then they force you to get the tracing app put on your phone, so you're monitored 24/7. Poco says, I lost my phone in a boating accident. The boating accidents, they're only going to fall for that for so long, folks. I'm just saying. Obama phone hatch, it's the equivalent. It's the UK equivalent. They know it's a loophole. I got a flip phone. That's a loophole to get out of this thing. So they're like, oh no, here, let us do you a favor and give you a $70 phone that we can track your every movement. Give it back. Somebody put give it back. Travel nurse prepper. Absolutely. They're giving it back to them, all right, but they're giving it to them in the streets. And the UK, the government doesn't know what to do, because I think they pushed the people a little too far. People will put up a lot. They'll put up with a lot, but I guess they just reach that point where they're done with it. And it's like they're doing 1776 over in France right now. They're just done, Freedom phone. I don't know. Christina says, she just said she's been prepping for years and praying that she won't need it. That's absolutely correct. That's all you can do. And she said what we are seeing is biblical. And I'm paraphrasing on that. It absolutely is. This stuff has been talked about in the Bible. Liz said, I lost my phone in baggage claim. Well, they'll get you another one, Liz. They'll get you another one. Or they'll trace the one that you lost and they'll get it back to you after they go through it. They'll go through all them selfies, Liz. Pat Dye, I cannot say that on here, but you are 100% correct. They're going to, I think, push that by the end of the year in some way, shape, or form. And what we do about it, again, I would have to refer you to Backcountry Preps if he's still over here. He can tell you what to do about it. I cannot. This is biblical. It really is. $1,000 snitch phone. No thanks. Let me see here. Lynn asked what Miss Nation carries, like her EDC. At the bare minimum, she'll have a small taser, and she also carries a tactical pen, ink pen. Um, she's not. The thing is, she's not allowed to have either at work. Okay, so that sucks because she works in education. But everywhere else, she's going to have these two things. Again, bare minimum. She'll have other things when we go out of town, but I prefer not to say what they are here. Okay. Pamela, mortgages. What happens to her mortgage if the dollar crashes? Um, Pamela, if your lender goes under, if they go out of business, they file bankruptcy, what have you, that debt is going to be sold off to somebody else. And you then owe them money. Isn't that weird how that works? You still owe it to answer your question, but isn't that weird how it works? So let me put it into redneck perspective here, okay? Let's say I loan $20 to Caveman James, okay? He owes me 20 bucks. And something happens to me and I decide, hey, I'm going to sell this debt to another friend. Can you imagine another friend going to Caveman James saying, you owe me 20 bucks, son? 22.50 with interest. It's a sham, to be honest with you. Miss me, my husband's EDC is a judge. Well, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, you're still going to owe. You're still going to owe the money. Unfortunately, you wouldn't get out of it unless the country was just completely upended from top to bottom, and there was no more United States of America. At that point, I don't know who you would owe. You'd be fighting for your land and your life at that point, I would think. Um, Inflation makes my debt cheaper. The Wizard, you are correct. That's a breach of contract when you separate a note and mortgage. It's totally illegal the way they do things, but nobody ever brings that up. You know, they just, somebody tells them it's how it's going to be, and because they are an official and an expert on it, people just fall in line and do whatever. And finally, Sheila, I'm going to be discussing that in the morning. She was asking about chatter. There's been some chatter amongst the military folks about them getting their houses in order, their civilian houses getting the things that they're going to need. And that's actually tomorrow morning's topic, so we're going to be talking about that in the morning. Jennifer Cruz, what do you think about the coach that got fired for not taking the jab? I think it's crap. I mean, it's a job like any other job. It's no different than working in the medical field or something. That's the way the court system is going to see it. And they've already decided, through, hospitals and things, if you don't take it, they can legally get rid of you. So I don't think it's right, personally, but the judges are saying legally they can do it. So, I mean, it sucks, right? Todd, do you see this kind of unrest coming to the States soon? Something's coming, Todd. I don't know if it's going to be the unrest like we're seeing in France. I don't know if the powers that be have something planned for us, like, say, a dark winter. Probably going to buffer after I say that. But something's coming. Yo 13 dude, how hard is it to get a ham radio license? I actually don't have a ham radio. I have no idea, but I'll tell you this. I've considered buying like a Bofang or something, a ham radio, and not using it until, we went Mad Max. At that point, I don't care if I have a license or not. I'm still going to use it. Honeybee, they've ruined football for me. Same here. Sandra Templeton, yeah, it's because I mentioned the whole winter thing that Joe likes to spout off over and over. Yep. Unreal. Unreal. Joseph says he has a ham radio with no license. And I mean, that's it, you know? You're not doing anything illegal by owning it. And then you have it if you need it. And also, Six Shooter just said CB is always an option. And over at the Bug Out, we actually do have a CB radio in a truck. It's not ours, but it's a family member's, and it's a good option. I think the range is significantly lower. I'm not sure. Six Shooter could probably tell you. I think it's like 5 miles or something on the CB. Could be more than that. Gulf Coast Prepper. Don't have a lot to give, but you do good work. Keep it up, brother. Well, thank you. You don't have to give anything, brother. I appreciate it. But you don't have to give anything. Let me see here. Carol said, what is some of the best walkie-talkies with a good range? Beofang's good. Actually, this little bitty thing right here, this Cobra, has about a 5-mile range. And we have several of those. The thing with any radio, any walkie-talkie like that is, unless the land is completely flat, you know, if you've got mountains, if you've got any obstruction whatsoever, thick trees, it's going to cut the range practically in half. So whatever the box tells you or the advertisement, if it says 20 miles, it's immediately going to become 10 miles as far as the range goes. But I mean, you're going to get what you pay for. If you buy a walkie for $5, you can get a $5 walkie, you know? Line of sight, exactly. Stuck in the city prepper. Seamus said, simply said, all frequencies will be out or jammed in SHTF. And that is a huge potential depending on what's going on, you know? Jennifer Cruz, say Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. I'm not going to say it a third time, though. Y'all trying to get me buffered again. Always get me in trouble. All radio is line of sight. 63 KC exactly. That's actually really good advice. Rip curl readiness. You can gain a ton of range if you get a better antenna to screw onto it. Good advice, brother. Irish Rebel, thank you for the super chat. You do not need to do that. Folks, y'all killing me here with these super chats and stickers. Dana, thank you. I'm going to close it down here in a minute. If there are no more questions, I'm going to go out front on the front porch and film tomorrow morning's premiere. So, and again, we're going to be talking about just some military chatter that I've heard from several reliable sources. It is secondhand information, but it's coming from all over the place. So we're going to talk about that in the morning. And I'll throw a prepping item or something in there as well. T-Rex, why is Ron DeSantis' mom and dad Cuban? I have no idea. No idea. Thank you, Eric King, for that. Sophia, Domestic Gangster says, before you do the morning video, get Miss Nation a glass of sweet tea. She is watching Chicago Med on the other side of the house. That show is ridiculous. And one of her besties has turned her on to Chicago PD now or something. Apparently, there's some hunks on that show. So, yeah, I ain't getting her nothing. If she can be watching these hunks on TV shows, she can get her own sweet tea. Good night, Liz. Folks, I'm going to wrap it up and walk outside and film the premiere. So I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Tony, thank you. It was his first time. Thank you very much, sir.